If whining is free speech, then I say ban it all. How you doing? It's Old Kid Brian with you here tonight. It's Friday night on this February the 18th of 2017, coming to you live on the old Facey page. Been doing a little drinking tonight, having fun, hanging out with some friends at a housewarming party of sorts, playing some games and just having a good time, and really enjoying seeing what has unfolded tonight with the heroism of one Jeffrey Tucker, standing up to Dickie Spencer, the neo-Nazi, fascist, neo-reactionary fraud that he is. All of these guys are nothing but trolls and frauds. These neo-reactionary types are the biggest jokes that I have ever encountered. They're whiny little babies who try to hide under the guise of free speech just to be dumbasses. I have never seen such dumbasses. Augustus Gloop, or whatever his name is, that guy? I mean, how can you take someone seriously who renames himself Augustus Invictus? What type of gain and traction does he think he's going to get from the general audience, the general public, by calling himself Augustus Invictus? And Dickie Spencer, that haircut is just horrible. And I know it's not just fascists that have that haircut, but I think it's absolutely awful. You know, I think it's just a really dumb looking haircut. So if you want to whine about something, whine about your barber screwing up your hair again. Well, friends, it's so good to have you here tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about why I am a libertarian, how I got into libertarianism, and why I feel there is a war on right now, not just within the fringes of libertarian culture, but a war that is progressing and growing more stronger by the day, that is going to be a war of our culture. These imbeciles, these whiny little babies, that's all they do is whine, whine, whine. Dickie Spencer, you're the biggest whiner I've ever seen. They whine about their multiculturalism. The black people and the Jews are taking over, and it's so sad. My European culture. You're not in Europe, dude. You're in America. You're in the United States of fucking A. So enjoy it. Or go ahead and go start your own little fascist subculture somewhere else, far away from here. Please, take your whining far away, because if I have to hear the grating sound of your nasty voice, I mean, Spencer, when he talks, it just causes me some sort of actual pain. It's horrible. And Augustus Gloop, when he opens his freaking fashy mouth, it's just this made up I'm a Southern gentleman nonsense. It's all so fake. And all of these guys are fake. They're just trash that is trying so hard to be something more. You can call me a lefty. You can call me a left-wing libertarian all day. Call me a libtard. Call me a social justice warrior. Call me all of those names. I don't give a flying fuck. You see, when I got into liberty, when I first discovered the ideas of liberty, it was long before most of you fashy little trolls were even born. I knew it was for one reason, and one reason only. And that reason was to do right by my fellow man, and to guarantee each and every individual the rights of individualism, the rights of liberty endowed upon their person. When I was first told that I was to say no to drugs, I thought, who the fuck are they to tell me to say no to anything? Maybe that makes me a degenerate. Because that's the word that these little fashy fucks love to throw around so much, is degenerate. What does that even mean? The fact that we actually like other cultures, the fact that we actually get along with our neighbors, the fact that some of us actually follow the teachings of Christ, the same Christ that was supposed to be the foundation for the Christianity that Milo Yiannopoulos sits there and espouses should be the official religion of our European culture, our Western culture, save Western culture by everyone being Christians. When you don't even follow the advice of Christ? And you're filled with hatred? You're not doing right by your own teachings, brother. Christ called upon us to love everyone, to love our neighbors like ourselves, and to hold no judgments. And it's one of the things I was always proud of libertarianism, of just how well the foundation I felt, the foundation I believed, actually fit with Christianity. And I know, like, Augustus Goop calls himself a pagan, but in the same speech talks about how we should be a Christian nation. The contradictions are just appalling and completely destroy any credibility that these neo-reactionaries could even possibly hope to have. But the foundation of all, I don't want to even discuss the fucking NAP. The non-aggression principle is so played out as far as discussing it and debating it and putting it into what-if scenarios. But if it must be discussed, I've always thought the non-aggression principle fit very, very well with the foundations of Christ. And Christ called upon us to do well by our brothers and our sisters, not through the force of the state. Because I've heard that argument so much from the neo-reactionaries that the left want to use the force of the state for the purpose of the social justice warriors and to, use the force of the state to force our views on everyone else. It was never called to use the force of the state. What was called upon us as individuals was to be nice to each other. And I can sit here tonight and tell you straight up that Dickie Spencer and Augustus Gloop and Milo Yiannopoulos are not good people. They're awful human beings. There are a lot of people in this world that I don't necessarily agree with, that I would still have over to my house for dinner. They wouldn't be welcome into my doors. It saddens me so much what's happened to this so-called movement, this fracturing, the factions that have developed, and some of the people that I once thought were really good friends that I can no longer respect. But also what uplifts me is what Jeffrey Tucker did tonight. And what so many of the people that I have been aligned with for so long have done. They have remained true to the roots of liberty. Because liberty means liberty for all. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what gender you call yourself. None of that should matter at all. It doesn't make you a fucking degenerate. The degenerates are you filth and you slime that preach hate. I look forward to your neo-reactionary movement burning and crashing into the pile of shit which you all are. Now, back to my generic snack mix. It's really yummy. Have a good night.